part. So I wanted to share a quote with you, and it is actually from the Dalai Lama. And he says, do not let the behavior of others destroy your inner peace. Few simple lines, but directly to the point. Because outside circumstances can always throw you off. It makes you get in a tizzy, you end up in an argument, the words you said can't be taken back. The Dalai Lama says, do not let the behavior of others destroy your inner peace. And I want to leave that with you guys today. And I think today is the perfect day for that because it's the beginning of the week. And if you have had a weekend like I've had a ram-packed weekend, you need to start off on a positive note. I think this is a very good one to go off with. Every time you feel like you're going to get annoyed, you feel like something is going to trigger you, do not let the behavior of others destroy your inner peace. Walk away. And so that's my little tidbit to you guys this morning, my little bit of positivity, right? Like I said, we've had a packed weekend, and I know Jamster is ready and raring to go. We just had a little conversation about it. Yes, the sports. So I spent a couple hours at the inter-school, beginning Friday night into early Sunday morning. And they had an amazing turnout on every day. Even Friday. Friday had quite a bit of activities happening. When we had Patrice visit, Patrice and Dominic, they did indicate to us that there were some activities that were going to be happening on Friday. And so I kept checking, because Patrice was very good. Thank you, Patrice, with posting stats. So I kept checking stats all day Friday, all day Saturday, just to see what was happening. And as predicted, congratulations to Sandy Point, Charles E. Mills Secondary School. Congrats, you guys tore it up. I mean, I personally was back in my alma mater, but you have to give credit where credit is due. You guys tore it up. I saw some snaps from some of the persons on my contacts. I was looking at a long jump snap this morning, and this guy almost cleared the pit. Jermaine, I think his name is Huggins. Is it that his last name?
So he's probably one of the Carifta people, because someone almost clears the pit. That's
right. We're still waiting on the list of athletes that are actually going. I just know like a few just because I've overheard, but this guy was amazing. So congratulations to the Sems Eagles, the Sandy Point High School. I think Charlestown Secondary came in second. Let me not swear. Yes, Charlestown Secondary came in second, so congrats to you guys. And my Stormers came in third.
I'm not really a happy camper right now. I know you're not either. So
it is what it is, but they all worked so hard. I'm telling you, I was there very early Sunday morning. There were athletes already there. They were decked out. They were hyping up each other. They were just, you could see that they were ready and raring to go. Friday night, I was there because I was doing some decor. And even after most of the persons left, I saw two athletes pop up and they were still on the track. So that shows you the level of commitment that these young people have. And I know we often rag on the young people. We tear them apart. You know, we always talk about this generation, this, that, and the third. But from what I saw displayed this weekend, we have to give them their props. They were committed. They were on time. I don't know from the officials' point of view or the inner stories, but from what I saw, I was at the track yesterday morning about 9:30, thereabouts. Most of the athletes were already there. And the sports wasn't supposed to start until 12. So kudos to the coaches and all the teachers, the volunteers. In there was swarming way like hours before the actual meet was supposed to start.
That's actually good,
right?
Though.
And I was happy to see that because punctuality is an issue for us Caribbean people, right? But the athletes turned up in their numbers. They were well uniformed and outfitted. You could see they were focused, and I love to see that for young people. I just generally was so happy with what I saw as an outsider. Like I said, I don't know the inner details, but from what I could see, you could see that everybody was on par. And I don't know if it's because, for 2 years we kind of had like a little hiatus, but everybody was on par and ready and raring to go. So congrats to everybody that participated, to the top 3. I have to say 3 because I have to include BHS.
The BHS was 3rd.
Yes. But congratulations to everyone, to all the schools. Thank you so much, guys, for turning out in your numbers. And I think this weekend is the primary school interschool. So let's see what happens there. I love it.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no. What's the sigh for?
Me, see, I used to run track, right?
Okay.
And then, BHS on top of that. And when I don't take it well when BHS. And it's, this has always been the issue. Usually Sandy Point they always seem to edge us out. And
then you have to ask yourself, why?
Yeah, I was wondering. It crossed my mind. Is it, I don't think people living in Bastia are any more, let's say, distracted or spread thin than students from any other high schools. I don't know what it is.
Maybe they found the winning formula. I feel like, and there's like a cliche saying when, all these things come together, opportunity and timing and discipline and all of that, it only leads to success. Maybe it's the coaches.
I did remember Stanley and I told me one time, one of the issues at the time, but I'm thinking enough time would have passed to fix that. He was saying that one of the issues is that most of the other high schools have a wider range of ages, so to speak. At the time, Bastia High basically, it's like third, fourth, fifth.
Right.
And then the other schools
had first to fifth.
Yeah. But then that wouldn't.
But
the
thing
works,
is,
that works too. Yeah, that works as well.
Well, now we have all the ranges there because there's no longer junior high.
It's been enough time, right? Yeah.
And then of note, CFB participated this year. I think
Separately.
that's a new for them.
Separately?
No, CFB was there. Unfortunately, they...
Was it separate? Well, yeah, CFB.
Yeah, as an entity, as a school.
Okay.
So they participated. I think, from what I know, that was the first year for them. They didn't do so well, but, kudos for trying.
Because then they wouldn't have the breadth of age
maybe,
groups.
So maybe there's something to your point.
Yeah.
Because that's just a sixth form. And I think I heard them say that they were going to get sixth formers from Charles.
Did I not hear that there was some
there was a rumor going around about it. I personally didn't see it. But
Charlestown, about some of the people being
sixth formers.
Right. But even though they're at the same campus, they're actually separate. Like the sixth form college is separate from
But do
CSS.
we have proof of that though?
I don't know. So we'd have to find out from someone in Nevis. Maybe Lester Blackett or somebody else. Maybe the minister himself.
I'll leave that to you because you have the contacts. But
I should ask Steve that.
Still, kudos to everyone that participated. I don't think it was an easy feat. I haven't been into athletics in years. I did a little bit in school. Long jump was my favorite. Because of my height, I often did high jump as well, and I did a little bit of track, but I kind of ended it at fourth form. So I know what it takes to get prepped for such a competition.
Do you regret it?
Not really. Maybe I could have done it up to fifth, but not really. With the workload that I took on because of the stream I wanted to go into, it just was too much.
I actually think I should have started earlier because I used to run like middle distance and long distance. Wow. And when I started, clearly there was natural talent because I ran my first race and came fourth. and everyone was, what?
Where did he come from?
Yeah, and
When did you start?
I had never trained. What do you mean? 15 or so.
I started in
14,
first
15,
form,
somewhere around there.
and held the long jump record for a little while.
Because I
under
used to
13
spend,
girls.
because as a kid, I mean, I spent, when everybody else was playing cricket and stuff, I was reading or something.
So they underestimated you. Hopefully you passed it on to your son or daughter.
But then I was always interested in athletics, right? So even though I wasn't doing it consciously or even self-consciously thinking about it, I was always paying attention to stats and people like Carl Lewis and that kind of stuff. And all those people. So, and then when I started, I was like, it's interesting. So then I started training next year, and I came second.
Well, look at that.
And and then went from there, ended up going to Character Games and all that.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Did not know that, so I'll have to delve into your past.
Yeah.
Did not know that. So. But I'm happy to see the
came
unity.
dead last.
See, we didn't even have to mention that. We could have just left it at character.
No.
They didn't have to know,
Full
but then I
disclosure.
probably would have dug it up.
Full disclosure.
But to see the turnout, to see all the teachers from the different schools, all the coaches, and just generally the supporters. I think yesterday we had the government and even some members from the opposition there. So it was a good turnout.
That's good PR. You know politicians.
Yep. Speaking of which,
you have to do their PR thing.
we have had a busy weekend beginning Friday. I think after we left the studio, Azard and I, that is when all the action began. So we've had quite a lot happening on the end of one of our local political parties, and I'm sure everyone knows by now because things travel fast in St. Kitts. So we had the deputy leader of the PLP party resigning, Mrs. Akila Byron Nisbet. And then this weekend, I think it was Saturday, there was a letter circulating saying that Nubian Grill, right?
Yeah.
The candidate that contested in constituency number 2, which happens to be the constituency that I'm in, had resigned as well. And then this morning we got a notice going out saying, that the posts for most of the executive members, except those of the national leader of the party and the deputy leader of the party, and I'm assuming this post is legit. It's a letter on the PLP letterhead saying that most of the executive posts were set to expire today anyways. And that the party still stands strong in its belief and what it represents, and they're basically planning their annual convention for later this year.
So you think? Do you think those two? You think those two resignations had anything to do with the end of the term? Because I mean, it does raise questions that two people would resign at, roughly the same time.
Right. End of the term meaning
it's not quite a rash of resignations, but it's not one. It's two, so you're like, two within hours of each other,
Well, if we're gonna go based on their letter, and assuming that Nubian was part of the executive membership, his tenure was gonna expire today, according to the letter. But Akila's and Timothy, the national leader and the deputy leader, theirs doesn't have an expiration date. So I'm not sure if I want to say that that had anything to do with their tenure ending, because Akila's wasn't set to end anyways. If we're going based on the letter, and I could probably read the letter, then Nubian's was set to expire anyways. So let's see.
It's just me, but I just think that maybe started getting. I imagine a lot of politicians, if they have any self-awareness, they start feeling scummy after a while. So maybe they couldn't take this scummy feeling. I don't know.
Let me read the letter. It's on the People's Labour Party letterhead. It says, for immediate release from the Director of Communications, the People's Labour Party to host its annual national convention. On Thursday, 23rd March 2023, the national executive members of the PLP met to discuss the way forward for the holding of its annual national convention. The National Executive Committee recognized that the term of all the executive members, except that of the national party leader and the deputy national party leader, expires on Monday, 27th March 2023. That's today. The national party leader thanked all the officers for their service over the last year. To ensure that the annual national convention is held in accordance with the party's constitution, the National Executive passed a resolution mandating a 7-member National Convention Planning and Implementation Committee 2023 to ensure that the annual National Convention is held by the 27th of June 2023. So they're going to have their convention. The National Executive of the PLP is in high spirits and is quite optimistic that the upcoming National Executive will fulfill the mandate of the party to rebuild stronger and better.
Well, thus far we could see that the PLP is showing that they have no intentions of going away. So it's good to see that. You realize, I don't know how long you've been living here, but we've had
30 years.
Yeah, we've had was it UNLP? We've had UPP. We've had
NIP.
NIP. A bunch of them.
There was one. It's funny that you mentioned that. I didn't even know some of these parties existed until just before elections, when the supervisor of elections came out and he was telling you the different colors and the different parties, and then there's like one that is white, and somebody by the name of John Deere, what was that, NLP, was running, and then of course DuPont had his, and I don't remember what color they assigned to him, and then of course we had Jason Thomas with his.
Jason Thomas.
Yes, from Old Road. He contested.
Was that
not in the most recent one.
No, I'm just making that up. No,
I forget the name of his party. But he's from Old Road, so he contested with Lindsay and who was the other guy? The other guy from Labour, Rensford, right? Yes, right. So, but he didn't contest in this last election. It was the one before.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that. So,
the guy that won 11 seats, because like that's the way they describe him all the time.
I mean, the trend has been, you have these parties coming up for an election, and then you never hear about them after that. But
which is unfortunate, because
respect
I think
to PLP for sticking around. I mean, they have one seat, so hey, that's more than the others have ever achieved. So
right.
You have a basis.
And I think I did see somebody mention that maybe it was a communique somewhere. Somebody mentioned that they won the second highest number of votes in the last election.
Right. So
because if you think about it,
there you go.
Right.
There you go.
For Tabernacle,
there you go.
The numbers that Timothy won.
So that's nothing to sneeze at.
Right. So why go away?
Exactly.
I mean, people, and as Akila rightly said, and I kind of like the way she started off her speech. She spoke about seasons, and she felt that this was a different season for her, and she wanted to embrace something else. And I know, like, there've been a lot of talk about it. I know Akila from school. We're around the same age. We went to school together, high school, sixth form, and she is a mother of 3. Now, I don't have children, but I have seen what motherhood is like, so imagine trying to balance that and a political career and everything else that comes with being a woman. Now, I don't know her reasoning other than what she listed, but I like the fact that she said, life is about seasons, and you have to know when to leave and move on to a different season. And if she feels like that's where she's at right now, who are we to judge or say anything?
Here. And you bring up a good point, because I remember during the last elections, Natasha, she was...
Right. Another schoolmate of mine.
Yeah,
we sat next to each other in class.
So I was thinking, wow, I mean...
I didn't even know
she was
pregnant.
Baby.
No, she was pregnant during campaign.
But she got the baby before.
But she was there every single event.
Yeah, I mean...
Do you know how insane that is?
I know. I thought about it. I was you have to give her props for that, because that's not easy.
All the women, because Marsha has a young son as well.
Oh, Masha. Oh, I didn't know. Okay.
She has a young son,
Okay.
probably like 6 or 7, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, mad
So-
respect on
And
that.
Jackie,
And Jackie too.
has a
young one
daughter.
as
I think
well.
it's a daughter, and
Yeah.
then I think she was also pregnant
Yes,
shortly after.
Shortly after, yes.
So
Wow.
nobody can understand or express what these women are going through. I think the other women could probably relate to some of the things that Akila went through, have children of their own or had children or even bearing children at the point in time when you're trying to run a campaign. Because let's face it, the elections caught everyone by surprise. We were not supposed to have an elections. Things just went awry and, stuff happened. So everybody was caught by surprise and, they just had to roll with the punches. So
Okay. So, I'm thinking, it's 8:31. The cops are here for traffic talk. So
the
we're gonna
cops,
take-
what did you
Yeah,
do?
The cops? I'm wondering. I'm going to go find out. Okay, so let's take a quick break and get ready for traffic talk. That's coming up next.
Babe, this soca got me ready to fet for summer. Better start saving money.
There's an easier way. We can play Carnival Cash with the Caribbean Lottery and enter the Chasing the Vibes promotion.
Carnival Cash?
It's a new, exciting scratch game that's loaded with $1,000. And if we buy $20 in Carnival Cash tickets, we can enter to win a trip to Barbados for a 6-day VIP crop over experience.
A free trip? Count me in. Purchase the Carnival Cash scratch tickets from any Caribbean Lottery agent island-wide for your chance to win a trip and VIP crop over experience in Barbados.
Partnered with the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc. Must be ages 21 and over to play.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
Hi everyone! Welcome to Conversations with Our Kids.
Tune in every Saturday morning to Conversations with Our Kids.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited for this show. I feel like a professional radio announcer already. I am nervous and excited at the same time.
10 a.m. is Kids Time on WINN-FM. Conversation with Our Kids.
I made sure to tell my entire family, my teacher, classmates to tune in. Tune in.
Conversation with Our Kids.
We're going to talk about education, religion, money, family life, social media, and other interesting topics.
This is a show for kids, created by kids.
Conversations with Our Kids.
Every Saturday morning at 10 only on WINNMedia.
Listen live on WINN-FM 98.9 or at WINNMediaSKN.com. Conversation with Our Kids. Every Saturday morning at 10 only on WINN-FM. Also streaming live at WINNMedia SKN on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
It's 8:35 and we're back with Traffic Talk. We've got Sergeant Henry and a representative from the Public Works Department who will introduce himself. Good morning.
Good morning. And Sergeant Henry, good morning and welcome. It's always nice to see you. So you brought us a special guest this morning.
Yes, I did.
Tell the listening audience who we have with us.
Good morning to the listening audience. Good morning to the listening audience. I am Sergeant Henry from the Traffic Department. Along with me, I have Mr. George Gilbert from the Public Works Department. This morning, I'll just be talking about license plates, and then Mr. Gilbert going to give you some updates of what has been happening in their department. So each plate shall be rectangular and be upon it an index mark of a letter, and shall also have a separate number assigned to that vehicle by a licensing officer, where the index mark and number shall be arranged in conformity with the arrangement of the letter and figure as shown on the vehicles. A private vehicle license plate is black with white letters and numbers. A rental is red license plate with letters and numbers, and these license plates shall be rectangular, as I said earlier. The omnibuses or the passenger buses is green plate with white letters and numbers. The taxi buses is yellow plate with letters and numbers, and we have the guided tour. These buses, the Safari and the coaster buses. These are the guided tour, which we see GT. And this is supposed to be a pink plate with black letters and numbers. These letters and numbers also have size in which we go about. It have all letters and figures must be 3.5 inches high. 3.5 inches high. Anything less than that is not conforming to regulation. We also have some number plate where we are seeing they are turning black. I don't know if it's the material that the persons who are making the plates them are using nowadays days.
What's turning black? The letters or the
plate?
The plate and the numbers are turning black. The numbers and letters are turning black. So you can't see the number, you can't recognize what number it is. And anything out of that is illegal. And that is not conforming to regulation because, as I said, it's supposed to be a black plate or a yellow plate with white numbers or black numbers and letters. So anything outside of that, it's an offense. And for that, it's a ticket offense. And it's $100.
You know that's going to be my next question. You saw my eyebrows.
So when you come out at mornings or whenever you come out to drive your vehicle, make sure you check your number plates or your license plates to make sure they are conform to regulation. Because sometimes when we stop person, they say, officer, I didn't know. But it is the duty of you to check your vehicle every time you're jumping in it to make sure everything is working.
What about the persons that are actually creating these number plates? Because the thing is, they're not going to be held responsible. You are supposed to check it and make sure. So I'm glad you actually came here to tell us coloring and sizing. I didn't even know they had a specific sizing.
They have a sizing, and remember, the license plate must be the front and the rear of each vehicle. Driving with one license plate, it's an offense also.
I woke up last week it was, and my back license plate had dropped off. I didn't even know. My neighbor brought it to me. I started panicking. So the guy that put it on, I called him. It was a Sunday. I was like, sir, I do not have money. I do not want to get pulled over. Come and fix my license plate, please. And I drove up to his place, and I'm there like all the way. I'm driving. I'm like, Lord have mercy. I hope no police on the road this Sunday, you know. But he put it on in a couple minutes.
Yeah, if a police on the road and they stop, you say, okay, my license plate drop off, and I'm going to the...
Oh, yeah. I put it on this front seat next to me. I was like, listen, I don't need no extra drama. But I don't even know how it fell off. And it's a good thing my neighbor found it. So within maybe like 10, 15 minutes, he had already cleaned the area and put the license plate back on.
And we have seen persons driving with their license plate in front on this side. That is an offense also, because when you come to the traffic department, the registration paper that we're giving you, or the form, is saying rear, front, and back.
You know, I was going to ask you about that because there's some new model vehicles. Like I know there's one Lexus in particular that I see where the license plate is on the side. And I just figured, you know, once it's a front and back, they were fine. But it's at the front, but it's on the side. So, you know, if you're coming head on,
you wouldn't be able to see it.
Exactly.
Because it said center, and that's not the center. Some people saying, oh, they didn't make provision for that.
But
in a case like that.
But let's drill down though. Is it really practical to say that a car must always have a plate in the front? Here's my reasoning. If you're a criminal driving a car and you're leaving the scene, you're not going to reverse away from the scene. So to me, that it doesn't really make a lot of sense. I'm just being straight up.
Regulation state you must have two number plates.
Especially if it's gonna interfere with the aesthetic of the design aesthetic of the car. If the car wasn't designed to have a front plate, like have the
right. So
the
that's
thing.
what I was asking her. Like in a case like that.
So,
but in a case like that, if you come and receive, then you put it on the side, but you must make it visible. Some people have them so small that you can't see them.
But it spoils the car. On
No,
the
but you
front.
have the size.
I'm just being real.
Yes.
Spoil
Well,
it because
hey.
if I was the officer, every time I see
I
charge you. I get $100.
I always have to be the heretic, but certain things need to be said. I'm just saying them.
But it's in law. The
I mean,
size
so if someone
someone
challenge, so it's actually a law. It's not just a regulation.
It's
actually
in-
black
it's
and
in-
white
yes,
law.
it is.
But they make provisions for that.
Yes,
That's
it
what
is.
she just said. You come to traffic, you explain,
Okay.
and then they make provisions for
yeah,
that.
but the size is what matters too.
Okay.
Not just a smart. Now when you come, you have to be squinting to
Because
see.
that Lexus vehicle she spoke about,
Yes.
for real. Like I saw the car and I was like, oh my god, that stick-on license plate really ruins the front of the car. And these are things you guys need to think about. That kind of reminds me of when I was a kid and Mr. Bradshaw insisted that left-hand drive cars had to have left-hand drive printed on the back in red letters. That's the most hideous car spoiling thing ever.
Poor you and your aesthetics. Keep breaking the law.
Sorry.
You see, we have a police officer
I
in
never
here.
saw I never saw anyone reverse away from a crime scene
You
full
never
speed.
know. You never know.
You ready to
Some
take calls?
person will, yes.
But
You wanna
you
take
know,
calls?
to
Okay.
that other point, are they allowed to have lights and all those other fandangles on the license
No,
plate?
those are offenses. As it said a regular plate with the letters and number. It didn't say no design.
And is there a specific font that the letters and numbers are supposed to be in? Because I saw a car recently and I couldn't tell if it was a 2 or a 8. Like, this letter's so fancy. I mean, yeah, we all want our stuff to look aesthetically pleasing, like Jamster has pointed out. But when it goes to breaking the law, because, like, do you guys... So let's say they come for inspection. Is that going to be an issue? Would they be fined because the letters are not recognizable from a distance or even up close to an extent?
It wouldn't be fine. We just let them know that it's not conform to regulation. And because you can't make out stylish, you have to see it to make sure the number is a 2.
Yeah, that I agree with. You want unambiguous looking letters. I agree with that. Yeah.
Yes.
We have a call. And by the way, the callers, the numbers are 4660989. Okay, that person may have hung up. The numbers are 4660989, 6620989, and 7620989. And we go back to the phone lines. Traffic talk. Go right ahead.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Speaking to what Jamster just referred to with left-hand drive on your vehicle, right? Who do you think was breaking the law? Who didn't want you to abide by it? A judge. And it went into court, and that is when they had to stop and take off the left-hand drive off the vehicles. I can remember very well. I'm a little older than he is, so I know it very well. Good morning, goodbye.
Wow,
Thank you.
Thanks, Kosh. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that.
Tidbit.
So I didn't even know that was actually challenged in court, and they lost. To my point.
Wow.
If there is no
Let's
more
move
call,
on.
we'll move on to
We'll move on now, yeah.
the representative from Public Works.
Good morning again.
Good morning. My name is George Gilbert from Public Works. We are currently doing some road works in the Upper Market Street area, just from Salvation Army, the junction of Salvation Army and Keon Street, to the laundromat.
Hallelujah. Thank you.
We've been looking at the whole island main road, or the whole island, the roads. And that one is one of the worst areas of any road.
Yes!
And it is getting worse. And I must say at this juncture that our asphalt plant is down. The only asphalt plant on the island is currently out of operation. It is being worked on as we speak. But we are actually importing some asphalt to do that area because we cannot leave it like that anymore. But in doing so, we need the public assistance. Yesterday we started milling the road, trying to remove the asphalt surface, and we faced with some challenge where there was a car which, apparently the owner was not known, and it was there, it was in the way and everything. Some time ago, this year, we paved the road up the village, and we actually paved around a vehicle. The person said they forgot and went to Nevis and forgot the key, etc., etc. And the social media didn't fail to give us a beating. And we did all what we can do yesterday to get that car removed. And thanks to the traffic department for assisting us in getting the car removed from the area. Now, tomorrow, Tuesday, we will be paving that road. And we will like the traffic department, we will like the pedestrians, the drivers and other users of the road to give us the opportunity to pave the road without any disturbance. And we are urging you, we are impressing upon you to cooperate with us for the period. As you are aware that it is very bad, and we are trying to rectify it, in spite of the fact that we don't have an asphalt plan. So we are seeking your cooperation as we seek to improve the road work on the island.
Thank you. So your visit here this morning is to tell us about works that are happening and upcoming works. First of all, thank you so much for that road.
Thank you.
It was insane navigating it in the morning. Guys, please let them pave the road tomorrow. I cannot deal with it. And I heard shacks for vehicle are very expensive. Do not go and obstruct them while they're doing their work tomorrow.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
quick thing though on
Yes.
that. On that removal, I get the impression that's one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situations. Because if you guys had moved the car, they would have said, how could they move the man's car without, getting his express permission and all that?
That's
but
where traffic comes in.
You're right. Is there some kind of does the police have leeway to actually move vehicles for road works and stuff like that?
Yes, because the notice went out on Friday, and we asked person to adhere to the notice, and I heard it on ZZ again. So once you hear this, and you don't, then the traffic department will step in.
I'm glad you said that because in St. Kitts, nothing stays secret. So I saw that notice on several persons on my WhatsApp profile. I think I saw it on Facebook as well. So you can't say you didn't know. And for persons that live there, we are I don't live there, but I use there to get, into town and here every morning. So I'm sure the persons that live there and are faced with it, they would have been happy for the road to be, repaired.
So what we did too, we actually did a letter for the residents in the area, and we actually slip it under their door, gave it to them, and we explained to those who we met what it is all about, so at least spread the word for us.
They covered all their bases.
Yes.
So I imagine most of the people who had vehicles, they probably had to find somewhere else to park.
They did during the period.
Because I remember driving up there a few weeks ago and thinking, boy, I wonder where all these people are going to park when they do decide to fix the road. Because, it's a lot, especially the upper part, there are a lot of vehicles and,
Don't even start me up with that because I'm going to petition for them to make the street one way. Ugh.
Isn't it one way? It is
it's
one way.
Not.
No.
Trust me.
The upper part.
Not.
The upper part, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But from Jabu come down,
Yes.
It is madness in the morning.
Yeah. I have a text someone wanted to correct you on. They said that you said Lower Market Street is from Keon Street to Liverpool Road.
Upper Market Street.
Upper Market Street.
I think the
Street.
notice had said Lower Market Street, but it is Upper Market Street from the Salvation Army, junction of Salvation Army and Keon Street, up to the laundromat, just by the former Governor General.
Okay. You ready to take calls?
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right. Call or go right ahead. Okay, let's see. Okay, call or go right ahead.
Hi, good morning, Jamster.
Hey, good morning. Traffic talk.
And good morning to the traffic officers and the gentleman from Public Works.
Good morning.
Assume. Yes, we appreciate the urgency of the road, and that's what social media is there for, because one would have advocated and agitated for that road and other roads to be resurfaced. And bearing something in mind, it would come with a cost. And you are speaking about resurfacing the road tomorrow?
Yes.
Has you weighed into factors like there are water pipes that would have been umpteens of years old and would have need probably, modernized, upgrading in terms of the plastic facility, which is much more durable? We know the urgency. We understand. We appreciate the urgency. But you are going to resurface the road tomorrow, and then the following day, 2 days after, that old metal pipe that was there for 50 years or more would spring a leak. And then, lo and behold, you will cut open the road again and retard pedestrians from using the road in the way it should or ought to be used after a new resurfacing. Have you weighed all of that into the equation? We know, and we heard you spoke about the former Governor General. Are you just appeasing the former Governor General, and he deserves it? But wouldn't it be efficient enough for you to just have a holistic approach by removing some of those water pipes that would spring a leak thereafter? Thanks for listening.
Thank you for your call.
Go ahead now.
You can go right ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, caller. We appreciate these kind of calls, and so I like them. They challenge me. With Water Department, before we start any road work, we actually send letters to we call them our partners, Water Department, Skellek, Flow, The Cable, those 4 partners. We actually send letters to them and ask them what do they want to do in the corridors. And I think that one actually responded and said that, they are thinking about it, but they will put theirs in the sidewalk and not in the roadway. Now, with the others, go ahead.
Okay, we do have some calls. We actually had 2 calls coming in, but call or go right ahead. Traffic talk.
Yeah, good morning, Jam for Radio.
Oh, hey, what's up?
And good morning, police.
Good morning.
And good morning, road.
Morning.
Good
morning. Too many persons in there for me to remember the names.
That's fine.
But I don't mean nothing disrespectful. That's a little humor.
Road is fine.
That's right. Now, talking about the left-hand sign that were written on vehicles, that was done because it happened like in a rush. All of a sudden, we were getting a lot of imported vehicles from St. Martin and the Virgin Islands that were left-hand drive. And so the administration of that day, they decided, well, a lot of people were complaining that they did not see the driver put out the hand, not realizing that it was a different car to a right-hand drive. So they come up with that thing, right-hand, left-hand drive. I got a couple jobs for printing on too, so I benefit from that. But then after everybody now get accustomed to left-hand drive, and somebody took, I think it's the government, to the court, then they just scrape up all one time. But now let me go here with the traffic. Our country is too small for people to thief a car. I could understand they took up a man bike, he bike in Hasford, and when he went back in for a receipt and he come back out, the bike gone. But a car, when somebody gonna watch your car and hot wire your car and go with it, police, I think you all should let them know the consequence of that and how severe the penalty is. And if the penalty is not severe enough, the magistrate them should hear and step up the penalty. That's all I have to say for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carlo.
I'm sure you guys have had incidents of persons' cars getting stolen.
Yeah, well, if you take somebody's vehicle, it could be charged for taking without the consent of the owner. And if you take the vehicle and you try to do any changes on it, then it becomes larceny. That's not vehicle.
Okay, let's take another call. Traffic Talk, you're on the air.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I wholeheartedly endorse the observations the gentleman made with regards to the water mains, etc. But then it means to suggest to me that we don't have sufficient advanced planning, because if, say, there's a larger plan that we will be resurfacing certain streets in May and another one in June and another one in July, it means that the different departments could coordinate. But when you send the water department a notice with less than 2 weeks to say we want to restore a certain road, it means that they don't have time to organize themselves to do this work because they have other plans of their own. And to the officer who said, oh, we put out the notice about the road closure on Friday, question is, when did the Public Works Department decide they will be resurfacing that road? And the moment they make that decision, the notice should go out. The idea that it was on the radio or it was on social media, but you have many people whose lives are too busy to be paying attention to these things. And whenever we are doing major works like that, this is 2021, its time has come, you put a large notice on the street that will be affected, telling motorists to use that street, starting on March 27th, there will be works on this road. So the people who are directly affected get the information. Someone who lives in Sadlers and works in Deer Bay, they don't need to know that is going to be researched. But the people who drive up and down Market Street or who live on Market Street, if you have a sign saying that this is going to happen, we do it. There was a mobile sign that we see around the carnival times, etc. Rent that and pack that in places where these things are going to happen, telling people ahead of time. And this is not just limited to public works. This is limited to all sorts of road closures that take place for diverse reasons. That at the last moment, we see cones go up and people think, oh my gosh, how do I get around this? I encourage the traffic department to work with the motoring public to make it easier for them to avoid these obstructions, and not on the last minute telling me, well, I put out a notice on Friday, so you should have known on Sunday morning the car wasn't supposed to be there. And by the way, the car should have been removed by a wrecker. The police have the authority to have the car removed if it was blocking the traffic for any reason whatsoever. Thank you so very much.
Thanks for your call.
Caller, stop making sense.
Thanks, caller. Well, I put out that notice, but I don't know how long ago Public Works put out the notice. And the car was removed by a wrecker.
I like the caller said, as it should have been.
Yes. Okay, yes.
I think you're in the hot seat now.
Yes, I know. I'm aware of that. Pertaining to the notice to our service providers, such as the cable, we are in consultation with them all the time. So they are aware of our plans, what we intend to do. But, I mean, like anything else, I mean, sometimes you talk to them about road work, they say they're not in their budget for this year, etc., so they cannot move ahead with it. So, but we are working with them as much as possible to get them on board at every step of the way. And thank you very much, callers. We appreciate it, and we just work closer with them, and we'll try to inform you more often as possible.
Okay.
I think that's a good point you made, because people often don't know some of the things that go into planning those works, that you had to contact all of those and you guys all have to be on board.
Yes.
Caller, go right ahead. It's Traffic Talk.
Hi, good morning to everyone in the studio this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Gilbert, one of my pet peeves that I'm having is at Reggae Beach. And I would like if you guys to deposit some of that all asphalt y'all dig up to go over on the road towards the water taxi pier. I know everyone, I'm sure, I know a good bit of you have traveled to Nevis on that water taxi. Driving from roughly Spice Mill area all the way to the pier is atrocious. It's been like that for how many years now? Every single body from the top of the food chain to the bottom of the food chain, if you understand what I'm saying, have driven and used that service. I've seen many people pop their bumpers going across there, and when rain comes, the craters get deeper. And this is coming from somebody who uses that area every single day, multiple times. And it's not getting any better. I've heard so many excuses from the top of the food chain all the way to the bottom why this can't be done, that can't be done. All I'm asking is public work could go over there, spend one day with the grader, and just level it off. I'm not even asking for it to be asphalted or anything. Just the road needs leveling off. So if you are consult with the traffic department and get it done, please. It's been like this for almost 20 years, and nobody seems to hear, and everybody uses the facility. And the numbers of people have been using over there has skyrocketed over the last couple of years. Okay, so this is just a call out to Mr. Gilbert there in the studio. Everybody have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you. Same to you. Yeah, I'm definitely going to agree with that caller.
We have done work on it already, but the location of it and the terrain, and it is very flat, and it is right at the sea level there, so you find from time to time it will end up with potholes like anything else. But it's a consideration, okay?
Hopefully you guys can put some asphalt on it. Would that help? Because like he said, and I've experienced it firsthand, when rain falls, it's almost like you have several swimming pools on that road.
Okay, let's take one more call. Traffic Talk, you're on the air. Go right ahead.
Yes, I'm lucky enough to get back in on the heels of Mr. Gilbert's comment there. Mr. Gilbert,
hello.
That I know y'all did work. Hardly any work has been done from the section when you veer off to, I don't know if you guys know where Mondo Bar is, the blue one. No, yes. Nothing has been done there. Y'all put all asphalt go towards the Reggae Beach restaurant and goes behind. Nothing is done towards the pier itself. Behind the next bar that goes up, that's the one that's close to the pier, and by Mondo, nothing has been done there. Y'all put the whole asphalt from the Spice Mill area when you come off of the asphalt. Y'all work there and go all the way, can go behind to Reggae Beach. I remember the last time that was done. I spoke to the guy in the grader and asked him, y'all gonna do anything going up to the pier itself? He said, bye, man, I'm not about dying, and blah, 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 and I left it wait. They have no authority to tell him what to do or anything. I just asked a question. But I am telling you, nothing was done there for years. You know what's funny? I personally asked somebody who was working separately with a backhoe. Like, you could just trust some stand in this hole here, because every time I drive across here, the bottom of my vehicle touch. I took my family over to the beach one Sunday, and I had a bucket and a shovel, and I was filling in some of those holes because everybody going and touch, and I know other people touching their vehicles, but I only could do it for me, and everybody else would benefit. But I just want the holes them fill in. Just carry some sand, some fill, some of that same asphalt, and just level it off, and then eventually the whole issue could be sorted out at some later point. But we just need those holes filled in, that's all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I heard you loud and clear, and I will do all in my powers to address the situation, okay?
Thank you. We'll take that for now.
Okay, so it's 4 minutes after 9 o'clock. Traffic Talk. I give you both an opportunity to wrap up. So, Sophie, you can go first, and then we can have Mr.
Just
Gilbert.
a reminder to the general public and those who are owners of vehicle. All letters and figures must be 3.5 inches high. Every part of every letter and figure must be 5/8 of an inch broad. and the total width of the space taken by every letter or figure, except in the case of the figure 1, must be 2.5 inches. Most of the persons who do license plate have this. So if you're going to go and tell the person making the license plate you want it smaller, and they make it, you're going to be held accountable.
Right.
So when you go to make your license plate, make sure you tell them you want it this size that is in the regulation.
Right.
Because anything less than that, it's an offense. And it's a ticketable offense, which is $100. Thank you.
Noted.
Mr. Gilbert?
Okay. I just want to remind users of the Market Street, Upper Market Street, between below the Governor General, former Governor General, Tapley Seaton, and also Keon Street and Market Street. We are Salvation Army. We are doing some road work in that area, so we want you to actually give us the opportunity to pave without any encumbrances. And someone asked about, why we just doing that area only. That's the worst area along the street. And as I said, we don't, our asphalt planting not working at the moment, so we just feel as if we just couldn't leave it like that. So that's why we are trying to do that area for now. But the whole road, the entire road, and other roads will be addressed as soon as the plans come back up. Okay?
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. And fingers crossed that the plant comes back up soon.
Soon.
So that you guys won't be impeded further.
No.
Thank you so much for your visit
welcome.
today.
Thank you.
Thanks. And it's nice to know.
Thank you, Sophie.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Nice to know we'll finally have Market Street fixed.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's it was pretty bad.
Okay.
That's Traffic Talk for today, and brought to you by Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Let's take a quick break and we'll come back.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Hello, this is Harper.
You got a clock, you got a chair, you got some headphones.
Yep, we got that.
What about a stapler and printer?
Yep, we got that.
Do you have a floor mat too?
Yep, we got that.
Tell me you got some cables and a projector.
Supermarket shoppers understand that convenience matters. At Hortsport's Value Mart IGA, we know that price matters most. Ample parking and the widest variety matter. At Hortsport's Value Mart IGA, we know that price matters most. Clean, spacious aisles and the highest level of customer service all matter. At Hortsport's Value Mart IGA, price matters most. We've renewed our commitment to guarantee the lowest prices in the Federation. Why? Because we understand that in this tough economic environment, price matters most. Shop smart. Shop Value Mart, where price matters most. Farms Estate Nevis and Wellington Road, St. Kitts.
Price matters most.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects or sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
It's 9:11 and we are back.
Had quite an interesting segment there.
Yes, it was pretty good. And finally, because I was driving up Market Street, I remember, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, I drove up and I was thinking, man, the road is pretty bad. And then I remember thinking, like I was telling you, that I remember driving up and thinking, boy, one of the things is that whenever they get around to fixing it, it would be a case where, man, there's a lot of people are going to have to find parking.
So let me tell you, I live in the Shadwell area, and getting here in the morning, that's like one of the shortest routes. And it is like playing hopscotch, right? And then, of course, there are people that are parked there, and there are holes on the other side. So by the time you swerve one, if you don't swerve fast enough, you're going to hit the car that's parked there.
Is that you're running a gauntlet?
Listen, right? So when I saw the notice, I was overjoyed. I was like, finally, right? And then this morning, I didn't even, it wasn't blocked off this morning. But then, so I went about my business. I think they did it yesterday. So they removed the asphalt yesterday. They graded it down. So it's kind of like, leveled now. And I drove there this morning, and even that is better than what we had.
Wow. Even just the bare dirt road.
Even just the bare dirt road is better than what we had.
Wow.
Right? So
it's better than Reggae Beach for sure.
Listen, that Reggae Beach thing is I couldn't help but agree with the caller. That has been a pain in the neck for quite some time. Right? So I'm really hoping that they get the plant up and running. I wish them best of luck because it's going to benefit all of us. And get these road repairs sorted. Now, the next thing I'm going to torment traffic about is one-way streets, because Market Street probably should be a one-way street, especially from Jabu's bar come down to the same Salvation Army area.
Think so?
Have you ever tried driving there basically at any point in time in the day?
I believe that would cause a lot of problems, though.
They can reroute it. We've done it when we had to install traffic lights because there's parking on both sides. If you're coming down, let's say you're going towards Shamari's Fish Shop.
You mean one way just up then?
Right.
Okay.
Just up or whichever way you want to make it. Just make it one way because there's parking on both sides and it's not a one way. So sometimes you have to pull in, and then by the time you're trying to pull out, 3 other cars are coming. And then if there's no way to pull in, you have to reverse into one of the side streets, or there's like a little opening just after the fish shop, like a little grassy patch. You have to back up into that or back up into the street where there's a Chinese supermarket there now and Gary's Fruits and Flowers is in. So it's always a headache coming down that road. And I personally avoided that road for so long because when I'm trying to get to work in the morning, having to navigate that road with persons coming up and you trying to come down, it's a pain in the neck. So I usually avoid that road and I go the long way, which kind of it's an extra 5 minutes, but at least I don't have to deal with that.
Yeah.
And my vehicle is probably safer because, backing up, rubbing this, that, and the third. So I think that's going to be my next petition.
That might not be a bad idea.
No, it's a bit of a headache, honestly. And persons that live there or use that every day will tell you.
But the other thing is, I've been saying for years on Traffic Talk, since back in the days of Inspector Keynes, I've always thought that, in fact, callers, maybe you can weigh in on this and tell me if I'm off base. I've always thought that the traffic department and by extension the Ministry of Finance is leaving earning a lot of revenue potential on the table by not having personalized license plates. Hear my reasoning. Now, we were talking about some of these cars aren't designed. The fascia is not designed for a plate on the front.
Right.
So you have to go and put this ugly sticker. Now think about what happens. Think about what happens when you have to take that sticker off, and then it might strip the paint. There's a good chance it might strip the paint, and
disfigure, pain in the neck, indeed.
And disfigure your car. Now, my thinking is, if someone has the money to afford a car, well, I mean, I shouldn't say that, because some of the cars that are not designed for front plates, they might not be all that expensive. But let's say you have a car where the front wasn't designed for a plate. I'm thinking the traffic department can charge more, can charge maybe a little more, just for argument's sake. But then the other thing, the real revenue maker here is personalized license plates. I personally think that they can raise a lot of money by giving people the opportunity to have personalized license plates. Of course, you can approach some country that does it already to find out what's the best way to do it and how you charge and all of that. People would pay a lot of money.
So when you say personalized,
meaning,
how much personalized and in what sense? Because I've seen cars where people put like little
what's the name of your business? What's the name
Events Extraordinaire.
Okay, so you could have a plate that says E Extra
or like that.
Yes.
Oh, they do that in the US. Oh,
exactly.
Okay.
Right.
I thought you meant like they could put other things on the license plate that already exists with a number and a letter.
Yeah.
Because people do that already.
I mean, like Azard could have a plate that says AZ1 or something,
Don't give Azard any ideas.
I shouldn't. Yeah.
Azard, we're going to talk about this tomorrow. But you might actually have a point there. People would pay for it because
would pay extra for that.
It's stuff that they're doing other places. So
yes, so all I have to do is approach some jurisdiction that has experience and knows how what the rate. Oh, we have some calls, so let's see if people would think. Caller, go right ahead. Okay, I'm trying to get. Okay, here we go. Caller, go right ahead. Am I off base?
Good morning.
Am I off base?
Good morning, Miss Frederick.
Hey, Miss Frederick. No, it's it's Candisie
it's
Franklin.
Candy.
Okay, Candy.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, Frederick.
No, Franklin. It's the same F, but it's Franklin.
Okay,
That's okay.
What I call it for, right? The opening statement this morning. Do not allow other person's behavior to disturb your inner peace.
Yes.
You don't always be so. The will of God don't always strive with man. I call him looking at me nursery. How they carry them up to this morning. It's like this thing here is like you're reaching to a point, right? Milan fence, These animals ain't toy, You're reaching to a point where and the authorities taking it for a joke. Because this thing ongoing from since October of last year. They're taking it for a joke, and when you see somebody going out working and spending and all his money and all he had was going for nothing, he gonna react. And when I do react now, they don't want to put him in jail. When they ain't trying to solve the problem.
Wow, I'm really sorry to hear that. So you lost your crop?
No, my nursery.
Your nursery?
The whole day that you see my nursery, look, right?
Wow.
5 million fence. I got drip lines on my farm. In a rainfall farm I invest my money. Just like everybody to invest the money and looking for a return, I doing the same thing too. But it's straight to me, boy, we're going to eat bread. But I just say, do not let an next person's bad behavior destroy your inner peace. But sometime in life, you got to stand up. I'm not going to always be letting people got a foot in my throat and I can't breathe. Yeah. Not even a drop of water on my tongue. And they enjoying life tall. Good morning, good boy.
Yeah, hang in there. You're right. Sometimes it's easier said than done. Especially what you're describing. I mean, you have to spend money to get the plants and to even get them into the ground and, maintain them. And you're looking forward, you're counting your profit. Hang in there. I'm sorry to hear about that. Hopefully you get that rectified as soon as possible.
Yes. It just shows how powerful words are, because you probably did that affirmation this morning and you're thinking, yeah, okay, this is a nice one, but you probably weren't expecting it to make such an impression with someone. I would actually call.
It did.
What, an hour and a half later?
I had a crazy weekend, and I can actually relate to sometimes you have to walk away.
Yes.
Instead of exploding.
Let's take another call. Caller, go right ahead. Am I off base with my
Good morning.
Hi,
hey,
good morning.
am I off base with my revenue raising idea for the traffic department?
Hello.
Hey, go right ahead.
Yeah, I still think that the female hostess should interrupt less when people call in. Now, Johnson, you've been a good guy. You've been a good student and all that years ago. But I'm concerned that you're giving the impression that the aesthetics of a vehicle, its appearance, and perhaps, the impression that one gets from looking at the vehicle are more important than safety and obeying traffic laws. The way you seem to be insisting that if you put this, it makes the car look better. If you try to take it off, it might remove the paint and affect the appearance of the vehicle and so on. Those are things that are, in my mind, peripheral to the issue of safety and obeying traffic laws. Just thought I'd make that input. Thank you.
Okay, but Michael, here's my reasoning. Yes, it might be best if you had two plates on, but from a practical standpoint, a plate on the front really and truly does not take away from a plate on the front is not going to stop accidents from happening. But a plate on the back, there's a pretty good chance that if that person happened to be a hit and run driver, they're not going to drive away in reverse. I'm pretty sure of that. So I which is why I know a lot of jurisdictions, especially in the U.S., only allow you only require a plate on the back. So that's my point of reasoning in the sense that here you have a jurisdiction, a country with millions of vehicles on the road, highways, all these very busy vehicle thoroughfares to navigate, and they think that having a plate on the rear is enough. So who are we, especially if you're going to be looking at it from a pragmatic standpoint, who are we to say that I really would like a rationale why there needs to be a plate on the front, especially in a case where the front of the vehicle in some vehicles is not designed for a plate for aesthetic reasons. I don't see that to be such a radical idea. Let's take a call.
Good morning, Mr. Blake. Let me address that caller. Good morning, Mr. Blake. Thank you for your call. Hello.
Yeah, I think that
Damser,
yeah. I think he may have called back. Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, I think you need to cease and desist from comparing us so regularly, so willingly, so rapidly with the United States. Tell me about what's happening in the rest of the Caribbean or in other territories with similar geopolitical and economic circumstances, social circumstances like St. Kitts. But I think to compare to the United States, which you regularly do, is a bit unfair. So tell me, for example, what happens in any other CARICOM country, in any of the other SIDS, small and developing states. And then we can perhaps more tolerate, that kind of comparison only if it becomes absolutely necessary. But to resort to the United States as a point of reference so readily, to me, is a bit
Fair enough.
Good morning, Mr. Blake. Thank you for your call, both of them. I would humbly appreciate it if you could actually point out instances where I've cut you in particular off, since you're the only person that seems to have this comment. I think last week you called me combative as well. The impression I'm getting is that you seem to be threatened by strong women. But thank you so much for your call. And to your point as it relates to Jamster, I think one of the reasons, one of the ways that we can make any sort of comments is by comparing one country to the next. So, yes, maybe he does lean a little bit to the other side, but that's the only way that you can make a comparison. It has to be between two things.
Good point. And I think it's a fair comparison. And I take his point about always using the U.S. as a yardstick, because obviously there are a lot, we all know there are hella bad influences. But I'm thinking this is a good influence. From a practical standpoint, I think that's certainly a good influence and certainly a good exemplar as far as traffic management and so on, right?
Jamaica has personalized license plates.
Yes, and
so maybe we can look into that.
And the one plate thing I know exists in St. Martin. You only have to have a plate on the back, and I think maybe St. Thomas and Culture can correct me on that. But I think the Virgin Islands, you're only allowed to have the plate. Well, not allowed, but you're allowed to just have one plate, which is on the back, which I think is.
I don't have any evidence of that, so I can't really comment.
Okay. Caller, go right ahead. You sound like such a lawyer.
Good morning, Andy.
Oh, there's Culture. There's Culture.
Good morning.
Yeah. My thought almost gone. Oh, okay. I'm in support of Kashrai. Now, I've been saying that for months and years. It is hard for anyone to invest their money in whatsoever they invest their money in, whether legally or illegally, as long as they thief it from you, and you don't have no evidence that they thief it, you cannot call them a thief. You invest your money in whatsoever you want to live from, and then careless people gonna come and destroy your investment, and you, the loser, been complaining about it, and nobody seems to do anything about it. Well, it's not all time people gonna act like a sheep. Check it that and don't even say meh. They're gonna change their behavior from a sheep to a goat behavior, because a goat only have to see you. And there's a load of meh. So they better go and assist all who complain about people destroying the possession. Because when people turn on and act, they're going to say you should have come to this and come to that. But people been talking and nobody seems to listen to people. You hear the man this morning talk about the sluice and copper hole about Reggae Beach?
Yes.
Yeah, people been complaining about those things for a long time. When anybody hears someone cry out for something that is not regular good, and it need attendance, go right away. Stop procrastinating. Procrastination does cause a lot of what you call confusion, and everybody gonna say, Lord, why he never do that? Why she never do that? Listen, when people bawl out, mother, they need help. Yeah, well, you were saying something, Jamster, about
I was wanted to ask you, in the Virgin Islands, the cars don't have to have two plates, right?
No, definitely no. You don't have to.
Okay, I thought so.
And then, even here, once ago, motorcycle used to have two plates, one in front on the fender and one behind. And they abolished that. Reason why the plate is exposed like a weapon.
Yes, and good point.
Yeah, it depends on what it collides to. If it collides to a human, sometimes it's only the front plate alone on the motorcycle damage that individual.
Yes, good point.
Yeah, so they said, okay, you could have a number in front, but not on a plate like that. You could write it on the side, the two sides of the fender.
Okay. So what do you think about?
Thanks again.
Yeah, but what do you think? Another thing, Culture, you there? What do you think about the personalized license plate idea? Because I feel like they can raise a lot of revenue that way. What do you think? Think of it as a VIP. Think of it as a sort of a VIP section for drivers. You know what I mean?
But you know how much money do they usually make right now?
As long as it is going to help the other road users to identify what they're looking at, I am for that. And as long as it's going to bring in revenue, go ahead with it.
Exactly. I think it's going to be a low resistance revenue raiser, because I don't think anyone is going to argue when they realize, I can put so and so. I mean, imagine Ronnie Rascal could probably just put Rascal on his car. Yeah. You know? Rascal 1 on one vehicle, Rascal 2 on the other one. No, I'm serious.
It's a good idea.
You know?
Sorry, everybody knows everybody by their nickname, you know.
Exactly.
So Rascal ain't got to put on he bought paper name on the car.
But the thing is, you see, when if you have a cool name, so you have a cool name for what you do, and you can rock it on your license plate, and you don't mind paying extra, the government wins.
I like the comment the caller made, though, where he says, as long as other people can recognize it. Because I still have to be able to say, well, this is the vehicle that was in front of me or the one that hit me. Like, I have to be able to read the license plate.
Exactly.
So I like that point that he made. Because people might come up with some crazy things to put on it, and then I can't even tell the police which car I saw speeding away, which one did the hit and run, which one backed up into me.
That's the point.
So I like that. That's something important to note.
That's the point, yeah.
Everything must be clearly visible.
Although reason says that if a car hits you and it doesn't have a plate in front, one, chances are someone would have seen the vehicle leaving the scene, and presumably not in reverse.
Right, because
and then two.
Yeah.
Well, no. Let me give you two. Let me give you two, and then you can respond. Two would be
go ahead.
Most likely the front of the vehicle would be damaged in some way. So if the person can recognize the color of the vehicle, and maybe they might be able to give some hints on, I think it was a BMW or a Toyota or whatever. She's giving me a dubious look.
I'm looking at you like, you see why the people say we have to have two license plates now? So you're kind of contradicting your own idea.
Okay. Go ahead, Culture. She's here giving me the lawyer look.
Most times when you hear Pagadam, everybody looking behind the vehicle that hit. This one is sometimes two passing and one mirror touch another one. And nobody stop. But you walking on the road, you hear bam, and the one who is in the right, they're gonna stop to see if they could identify the number plate behind the car that hit them. And somebody standing up gonna look and see the number plate, and they might say, well, I see the number.
Yeah.
The car hit the one that is wrong, he keeps straight, he hit and runs, so he going. and then you could see the number behind. Can't nobody running in front, go see the number.
Good point.
But
when somebody is getting a chance, maybe they want to come in.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so maybe the one plate thing, maybe I'll lose that one. I'm not gonna die on that hill, but I still feel like they would make a lot of money with the personalized plates.
But then if that's where we're going, right? Let's say
exactly.
So that's even more money because it's two personalized plates.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe we keep the two plates and we go for personalized.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, of course. Carlo, go right ahead.
Greetings, IMT.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Good morning.
Give thanks. Everyone had a bushy already?
Definitely.
Well, I had coffee, but yeah, I had bush tea. Yes.
Jams to be careful.
No, but I had bush tea all weekend actually. Yeah, I did. I had bush tea Saturday morning and yesterday morning.
You cannot drink too much bush tea.
But you know what I had?
You
know what I told you?
Right.
Saturday morning I had soursop sage, black tea, soursop sage, and what's it? Basil. Yeah.
Good combination. Good combination. It's settling nerves. All right, we just hear the song about revenue, raising revenue pertaining to the road. Now, there's no better way right now to raise revenue and to deter nastiness than putting policies in place, implementing, executing, prosecuting people who are litter. From a sweetie paper, go right up to the whole fridge and do a lot of bang around them. Too much nastiness are going on in the 68 square mile. Me no want to talk about the 32 right now. Long time me no go over there.
36.
Last time me go over there, they say white people pick up garbage in the road. White people, you know. We will say talk. All right. Everywhere you go, the people them a chuck in, them a drop, them a dash, whether they in care, whether them a walk. But as a matter of fact, listen to me. They had a thing up some sports thing last night. And the young people them was on the road late. And just to stay by the bus stop for a few minutes, they have to leave garbage. Everywhere they sit down, everywhere they walk, is garbage. Now, if the If the administration, whatever it is, whoever it be, is in place, do not see the importance, how necessary it is to implement, to set policies, execute, that means they're nasty too. And if they're not nasty, then for do this ASAP. And we don't say it, you know, $1,000 for dropping piece of paper in the road. And the fine goes up to whatever the littering will be. And who can't pay? Straight prison. And then I come out of prison until they reform. Why them people make them work? And the work is to clean. Until we have no more, because, listen to me, with all the cleaning that go on, you know, come here watch the people them up on the road, you know. Some of them are work chick, you know. It come like the love when people knock up the place, you know. Some of the cleaners them. We do not let them out until they reform. And what they say, we just one point of the cleaning. The nastiness is more than the cleaning, so we look like we not even try.
So
really small, you know.
So maybe here's an idea. How about people who get charged with littering? Their community service is they have to go around with those pincer things and clean up.
I have one in hand right now.
Yes, and clean up the.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
Let them come out and clean until they learn, until it inside the thing because nastiness start inside the people, you know. For me to put a sweet in the mouth in a jamster, an empress in the studio there. For me to put a sweet in the mouth and drop the paper on the ground. It has to be in my mind, you know, for me to drop that paper, you know. So the nastiness is embedded between nasty people. Why do you say that we want big up clean people? Big up clean people who not do them thing there. Big up. When you see the culprits them, we have to get the rid of them kind of mentality. And we can make money. Why they are doing that? Because they're not stop right away, you know. So we're going to keep charging them. We're going to keep digging out the pocket. Wherever they find it, if they can't find it, we send them jail. We need to arrest this nastiness. Hey, Mr. Torres, I walk out the picture, you know. And when they take a picture, hey, Mr. Rex, let me come off the line, yeah, man.
Thank you so much for your call, and you can sense his passion. It is a serious issue. We used to have little wardens going around. I'm not really sure what happened, but it is unfair to actually have them walking around to clean up persons. I mean, yes, it did provide jobs, so that was a good part of it. But then, how hard is it to wait until you see a garbage? Sometimes I carry my garbage home. And when I get home, I take it out and I go to my garbage at home and I empty it.
Me too. I've been known to walk for blocks with a banana peel.
People just drop stuff indiscriminately. Like sometimes I will come out of my house and I live on the corner of the street. So it's right, as soon as you come into the street, my house is right there. People drop all kinds of garbage out there, and I have to come out of my yard.
Oh, you're in the roundabout, right?
Apart from the roundabout, outside my house.
Oh,
sometimes where my vehicle is parked, I have to go pick up the garbage and empty it because it's now it's in my surroundings, on my property. So and
you know,
and most of it is school children, to be honest.
And you know, we're gonna take a break after this. Well, you know, like I've done this when we've gone to the beach, where I would walk with an extra bag because I know, like, wherever we decide to sit down to put the towels and stuff, there's going to be a bunch of garbage, and I just go and take them up. And like I'm telling my wife, I said, why can't people just, I mean, do you really have to leave the juice box there?
Right.
Or the
just to
KFC?
use the spot, you have to clean it, and so you now have to walk with the garbage that you would have had to clean to use the spot, and the garbage you would have used while you were there.
I don't understand.
It's insane.
Yeah, and then sometimes you're driving and someone, and this has happened many times in Frigate Bay and Southeast Peninsula. You're driving and you just see a bottle or something gets tossed, or a can just gets tossed out the car in front of you. You got to figure, it's going over the cliff down on the.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And then it accumulates. Then what?
Exactly.
The caller made some very valid points.
Yes, he did. And he's been making this point forever, and it seems to be falling on deaf ears, to be honest. Let's take a quick break and hear from Rams, and we're going to come back.
chubby with the same great taste. Lots of magic fruity flavors, drink the more healthy way.
It tastes so yummy, chubby, chubby, chubby.
25% less sugar, chubby. Be active, be healthy, drink lots of chubby. Kicking football, playing cricket, having fun in the sun.
It's chubby.
Reduced sugar, chubby keeps you cool and refreshed.
It tastes so yummy, chubby, chubby, chubby.
25% less sugar, chubby. Jumping rope, running races, have fun.
It tastes so yummy, chubby.
Drink the more healthy way.
Rams is for you and me. Giving back to community. Rams is for you and me. Better for your family. Better service, better price, better value, better choice. Rewarding you for loyalty. Rams is for you and me. Better price and quality.
It's 9:42 and we're back in the remaining moments of Island Tea Candy, Jamster on the other side. And let's take this call, see what's on the mind of the callers. Okay, callers, I noticed we were getting a lot of calls during the break, so feel free to call us and we can wrap. Here's another call. Caller, go right ahead. Okay, caller.
Lost it?
Yeah, caller, go right ahead. There was another one coming in. Caller, go right ahead.
Yeah, good morning.
Hey, what's up?
I'm just listening to some of your program here, and this license plate stuff that you're talking about. I resided in the Virgin Islands, and I know 1 year they brought in a law that changed the 2 license plate to 1 in the year. And it caused so much a problem that they've reverted back and front. So we're talking about the United States of this and that and the other. Places in the Caribbean closer to us than other places tried that same strategy years ago. It didn't work.
Okay.
So to bring it here, I think it's the news are talking about it. I think it's just,
okay,
mind-boggling that we would think about things like this,
But why-
really
yeah.
check out the history and
Okay.
research of this kind of stuff.
Fair enough, but why aren't you guys weighing in on the other thing, the revenue
Because
raiser?
we can't get in. We
no,
can't get in.
the revenue
We can't
raiser
get in.
idea, yeah, the revenue
In
raiser
half an
idea.
hour now I tried to get in and, Carl is busy and all sort of stuff. I just lucky to get in when I was supposed to.
Yes,
And done with it altogether.
I'm sorry about that. I couldn't do anything about that. And sometimes when I take the calls are not there because through no fault of my own.
Yeah, I know that, but
yeah.
sometimes it's very difficult to get in.
Yeah,
And
sorry
I guess
about
that's the reason
that.
why the regular callers keep on calling in and you don't hear from anybody else.
True.
Anyway, thank you so much.
Okay, let's go to another call. Caller, go right ahead.
Yeah, good morning to you both.
Hey, go ahead.
How are you guys doing, man?
We're doing good.
Thank you. How are you?
Hey, caller, go ahead.
Yeah, how you guys doing? How you
Oh,
guys
we're
doing?
doing good.
We're good,
doing
thanks.
good.
We were asking how you were doing.
Yeah, I lost you for a minute there, that's why. Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, man, great conversation. The nastiness, man. Sure. Here comes the comparison with Sinkis and Nevis and the United States. Sorry to that other caller. But here is one such incident or example when, I observed that people in the Federation, they're trying to be like America. The nastiness and the dirty and the dropping of the garbage on the streets and stuff like that. But still, they can't be like America because in America, they enforce that stuff, bro. They enforce that. The fines them, they're posted, and if the cops them catch you, they will cite you and give you a ticket. Believe that. I was driving down the road one day and I had a passenger in my front seat, and he put the window down, and just a little piece of paper I see this man throw out the window. In about 2-3 minutes, here comes the police stopping us, bro. You know what I'm saying? And he gave us a warning because the little piece of paper was probably so tiny, you know what I mean? But he was ready to cite us, you know what I'm saying? If I didn't really speak up in my own defense and defense of my passenger, we probably would have got a ticket that day. But anyway, the great idea and the personalized license plates, and one of the observations I made, right, the infrastructure going over to the barge for Nevis, the Reggae Beach area, I believe it's about time the government think about putting in that infrastructure for real because I came to St. Kitts and Nevis and I visited one time some years back, And one thing I didn't realize, bro, the cab person or the van driver, they were speeding. They were speeding going to Vega Beach. And, you know, I had to speak up and tell this man, slow down, bro. You know, I'm a visitor to the Federation. I didn't come down here to throw away my life carelessly and one of those cliffhanger roads going over to the barge, to catch the barge to go over to Nevis. So, you know, a clarion warning to those drivers in St. Kitts, man. When you guys got the visitors them in your vehicles, you know, you guys should stay on the speed limit, man, because people are coming from overseas, and some people will be scared to drive around them cliffhanger streets at a fast-paced rate. You know what I'm saying? And these drivers gotta slow down, man. You know, I had to tell the guy, yo, look, man, I'm not gonna put my life in your hands like that, bro, because I'm a professional driver myself, and I had to speak up to get him to slow down. You know, I'm not in a rush to go to my grave, bro. That was tied into the traffic talk that you all had this morning, and you know, the traffic police that comes there, they got to address that too as well. But that's my contribution for now, man, because I know time is slipping away. You guys have a good day.
Okay,
Thank you so
great.
much, and same to you.
And we go to another call. Caller, go right ahead. Okay, I guess we lost that one. It's we got 13 minutes to go until 10 o'clock. We're happy to take your calls if you bring them before 10.
But you know, I think that we do have legislation addressing littering. I just can't bring it to mind right now. But maybe we need to reenact the litter wardens. That
Yes.
might help persons to
Also,
cut back on it. I haven't seen them out in a long time. I remember when they were very prevalent. I think they wore like these high-vis vests, and it actually said that on the back of it.
Litter warden, yeah.
Right. So maybe we need to reenact that.
And you do realize that one of the things that the littering problem has caused, among other things, is you notice that at the courthouse now, they have these barricades that they've erected so that Pinder and people I've seen. I mean, I remember those days coming down here to do the breakfast show in the morning, and there are like KFC, Candy, I kid you not, there are KFC boxes on the courtroom.
People
steps,
have no respect for anything.
Yes, I mean, this is insane to me. And in the square, in the fountain, I remember that period when the fountain was empty.
Right.
You'd walk through the square, and in there would be full of like
So we defacing our own property, and then when tourists come here now, this is the same thing that we want to present to them and put on display. And I think the guy alluded to that. He was saying, and I think that's when he got really upset. Tourists are taking out pictures, and in some of the pictures you see in the garbage visible.
I do not understand it. I mean, what are these people's parents teaching them?
You know, is it for a lack of garbage bins around the city center?
But the thing is, I have seen waves of garbage bins being placed periodically, and they either get stolen or something.
They used to have some metal ones, I know, at 2 points of the square. I don't know if they're still there, but they were like already built in.
I know they had a problem where some Chinese businesses were going and filling them up with their garbage, and I think they got charged at one point. Yes. Call. We have a bunch of calls. Hey, callers, go right ahead.
Good morning. Good morning, Jamstar.
Hey, what's up?
Good morning. Not too bad. Good morning to the young lady there.
Good morning.
I agree with the caller, right? The guy who called from the United States.
Yeah.
That place over there, Reggae Beach area there.
Mm-hmm.
I think the government need to look into it right now and start fixing up the area there. On the other end in Nevis, they fix up over there real nice.
Yeah.
So I would love to see the government because, you know, first impression, that's a very bad impression. You know, when the guests come over there to catch the ferry to go across to Nevis, I think they should fix it up, put a nice, you know, waiting area or something, and get the place really organized, man. You know, the road and everything.
I don't know if the sticking point might be who owns the land, because I remember when you remember that long period, Candy, when the road, the Southeast Peninsula Road hadn't been fixed, and when people asked, well, why aren't you guys fixing the road? And they said, well, it's because it's technically it's not the government's
private
road.
Property.
It's yeah. But eventually it was fixed. I
Right.
mean,
The government is who put in the infrastructure.
exactly.
Right.
But I like this caller's idea
Yeah,
because
I
he's
agree.
right. The road over there is horrible. And I know a lot of taxi drivers have complained. And I have even gone as far as to speak to some government ministers about it because it's atrocious. And he's right. When you're coming off of BA and AA and you're going to Four Seasons, this is the road that you're taking.
Exactly.
And it's a first impression. And it's horrible.
And it's a public good. I mean, private property or not, it's a public good, and that's what governments are for.
The people are not gonna think it's private property. They're gonna say the road in St. Kitts.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
So
And then when they get over to Nevis now, this is something different, you know,
Yeah.
much nicer.
Yes.
So I think they need to collaborate or whatever with the Nevis and
yes,
Good
whatever,
point.
and get the place fixed up.
Good point. I can't argue with
thanks
that
a lot,
one.
man.
I love it. Thank you
thanks,
so
yeah.
much for your
Great-
input.
Great call.
And you know what I was
That's a great
thinking?
point.
When Mr. Gilbert said that the asphalt plant is down, I was wondering if Nevis had one because, like the caller said,
Good point.
that area is close to Nevis as well. So it's beneficial to both parties in this sense. So you can't just say it's a St. Kitts problem.
That's a good
Because
point.
these people are going to Four Seasons, which is in Nevis.
Yes.
So how about a collaborative effort?
Yeah, I wonder if they consider getting asphalt from Nevis. Caller, go right ahead. Because that's
Thank
actually
you.
a good
Thank
point.
you. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
I'm calling as it relates to the discussion that you had this morning with the repairing of roads. Now, it's all good and well to have the roads repaired, but one of the issues there is that some of the roads, they don't have any signs. And I had an embarrassing moment this morning coming from the Kim Collins Stadium. A tourist came up. I don't know whether he's a tourist or not, but he came up. And he came up between by Hobson. He stood at the first turn to go into Iowa's place there, the car place. And he looked lost. And he said to me, good morning. I said, good morning. He said he's trying to find his way to the King Collins Highway. He's a retired coach, and he wanted to see what the place looked like. And so I'm trying to tell him, and he keeps asking me, so what is the name of the street? I felt so embarrassed because there was no name on the street. So I have to turn around, take him halfway, show him where to go, and then let him go anyway. I don't know how he finds his way back. But when we are doing these streets, they need to make sure if the names are there, that they are prominent, that people can see, or they need to have names, because we are not the only persons using those streets. You have tourists come here and they're all over the place and they get lost. And they cannot say which street they went on because there is no names for the street. And what also intrigued me is when the police go to court and they have a traffic case and the location don't have a street name, how do they explain it to the magistrate? You turn left, you turn right, you're going by this shop and that shop. That is not good enough. Thank you.
That is a great way in. I should have been recording this. That was a great. I actually should have recorded this segment because a really good call. That's a very good point, and which leads me to another one of my pet peeves, which I've spoken about before. I guess the police wouldn't be the correct authorities to pitch this to, but there's some overlap. Far too many of our streets are unnumbered, and far too many buildings and lots are unnumbered. I mean, when I lived in Toronto, I remember I went to visit a Jamaican date that I met, and she was living in Downsview. I'd never been to Downsview, and she gave me the address, and I took the subway and I found it because simply by using the building number and the street numbers. That's all I needed, and I'd never been to that part of Toronto, but I found it. And I think it's shameful that in 2023 we still have so many streets unnamed.
Let me tell you, they have names. It's the signs that they're missing. You know, the first time I found out the name of my
they
street
have names, but
is
no
when I
signs.
saw
But
the
same-
property
same-
taxes come in.
Yes.
And they were labeled according to the street name. I was like, that's what the name of this street is? So the names are there. And if you put in like Google Maps or Maps, it tells you the name
It
of the
tells you,
street.
yeah.
But the signage, like the caller is saying, is missing. And so when tourists or persons who haven't been here for a long time come home, it's difficult for them to find their way around.
Yes. Caller, go right ahead. And where I live, Candy. Okay, another call. Caller, go right ahead. Hi, caller. Hello. Okay. A lot of calls though. Caller, go right ahead.
Good morning, folks.
Oh, hi. Good morning.
I'm sorry, but I don't accept that because the asphalt plant is down, that road repairs are delayed. There are a number of different ways to repair the road without using things like hot mixes. Right? There's the old-fashioned way of doing it with you prepare the road, all you need is a roller and the appropriate aggregate. You put tar on it, and then you put other aggregate, a finer aggregate on it. And that can suffice until we get the asphalt plant up and running again. I don't understand why. I could understand for a major project like the St. Peter's Road. But a lot of the roads that are bad are like the Market Street, especially Upper Market Street, the Sprott Street, and there are intermittent potholes that are just keep getting bigger and bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is thrown in them. And I'm saying that while we await the fixing of the asphalt plant, you can do things to at least make the driving public a little safer and a little more comfortable. Right? There's absolutely no reason why you can't go back to the old-time methods in the meantime. Right? I mean, I don't know. Well, y'all might be too young to recall them. But
how feasible is it, though? I mean, couldn't they get the same stuff from Nevis?
Actually, Nevis' own was out of commission for a while, too. I think it's back in operation now. But they, obviously, I recall seeing lots of complaints from the divisions about the state of their roads, too. So, obviously, they're going to prioritize that. Okay? But what I'm saying is there is another fix in the meantime. Right? It's not the best. Not the best, but it can be done in the meantime. How much longer are we going to have to wait for this? So something like roads, proper roads, that's a basic for any administration to undertake, the repair and maintenance of services, those services.
So I'm
so
wondering.
we should not relax.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I was wondering. We should have asked where they're sourcing the mix from.
He said they had imported it.
Yeah, but I was
you know,
wondering
to the
from
caller's
where,
point,
yeah.
I was thinking let's see what it is they're gonna use, because he said the asphalt plant is down. They imported some stuff and they are going to fix the road. So now I'm anxious to see what they're gonna use in the absence of the.
I suppose the imported stuff. I saw a truck going around with some bags of material that can be used to like fix potholes with a light roller.
Mm.
Okay, maybe that's the ones that they imported. It seemed pre-bagged. Okay, but I'm saying in the meantime, go for one thing. You can do the road preparation in advance of the hot mix being repaired. Okay, because it has to be done anyway. I don't know if you recall when they were doing the Island Main Road, for instance. There were times when you could see that they had prepared the surface, but it was not the final finishing. Okay? They can do a similar thing there.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, so you know, I think the criticism is warranted. You know, how much longer are we going to have to wait for this to be resolved?
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. Okay, then.
Okay, great.
Thank you so much for your call.
Man, lots of great calls. Let's take one more.
Hello?
Hi, caller, go right ahead. You're the final caller. Keep it brief. Yeah.
Call of the lady who spoke about the street signs. It is more than a matter of inconvenience to people trying to know where they are. It's also a matter of safety. Someone calling to report a fire. What do they tell the fire department? Look for the smoke. Someone trapped in the house because there's a burglar. What do they tell how do they tell them to describe where they are? If they say come out and stand at the side of the road, and tell us. It's a matter of safety, and there's also a matter of efficiency. Why does the courier services as DHL and FedEx be driving around at 7 o'clock at night? Because there are no precise instructions in terms of a street name and a house number at which to deliver packages in this country. Have a wonderful day.
Same to you.
Thank you so much for your call.
Extremely good-
That is a good point.
I'm telling you, extremely good point. It's actually 10:01. We're gonna get licks. Okay.
It's been quite an
So,
interesting
yeah,
morning
pretty
and very
good.
informative.
I really we could have a whole news item of just those last calls in the
Let me
last
tell you.
last 20 minutes. Those are pretty good calls.
Yeah, that street
And-
signs one is definitely
Yes.
serious.
And the funny thing is, a lot of the streets actually have names, but
Yeah.
the problem is they're not posted.
Yeah, the signs
Like,
don't exist.
Exhibit A, where I live, in Bladen, the street has a name, but I just happen to live next to someone who works at NHC, and he told me, oh, and we didn't remember our lot number either. He gave me a sheet which had all the lot numbers for the area, even the unoccupied ones. And my
Wow.
street is named Orange Street, but you would not know because there's no sign.
Yeah.
And all the streets in the area have names.
Something
but
we
they're not-
definitely need to work on. Hopefully the responsible parties are listening.
Yes.
Well, Azard, we missed you this morning. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Hope you're having a good one out there. And thank you for your calls and your participation otherwise.
And this morning was real. It was nice.
Pretty interesting. That public works visit set a whole bunch of stuff off because everybody,
I
and like I
know,
said, it
yeah.
affects all of us. We're all
Exactly.
concerned about it. So the faster they get the roads repaired with whatever substance they have,
And
the better.
We all had the same thoughts about Market Street.
Yeah, imagine that.
You know? Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's been good. I'm gonna
been
head
good.
off now.
Okay.
Have a good day,
I hope you have a
everyone.
great day.
Thank you, Jams. The same to
and,
you.
make sure you listen to Spin Cycle. It's coming up next. Spin
Yes.
Cycle, Spin Cycle Power Hour, right up until 11 at Voice.
What are you giving us today?
Well,
Is it a
mix
surprise?
Just a little mix of everything. Try to do
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
I put Chronics in the bag, so we'll get some
Nice.
Chronics for sure. Glenn Washington. I was listening at Glenn Washington CD yesterday, and I thought,
Right, Glenn Washington.
I said,
Definitely tune in.
I think
then.
I'll take that tomorrow.
I'll definitely tune
Yeah.
in.
All right.
Okay, guys, don't
Okay.
forget, don't let the behaviors of others ruin your peace. Have a good one today. Thanks for tuning in to Island Tea.
I cosign. See you tomorrow. Okay.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.